Hi folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report. Today I'm with Aaron Hardy talking about trout fishing. And Aaron, we introduced you in the last report that we did, but tell people a little bit more of all the things that you're doing with trout fishing here in the area. I know one of the things is you're into trying to protect it.
So yes, I found that in the fly fishing industry, from the professionals all the way down to the local people, conservation is very, very important to everyone. And there are multiple conservation organizations out there. You've got, obviously, Trout Unlimited is one that everybody knows. You've got backcountry hunters and anglers. You've even got Save the River here on the St. Lawrence River. The one that's really, over the years, become near and dear to my heart is the Native Fish Coalition. The big difference between the NFC and the other ones is we cover all fish species. Very fortunate and blessed, though, however, that where we are currently, we've been doing a lot of work with brook trout and brook trout management.
So what do you do?
We do I go out to a lot of shows, kind of like you do. I go out and we talk about fish conservation. We were recently quite involved with the new policies that have come out for brook trout pond, the new pond management plan. We have talked with the biologists and given recommendations. Now that plan is out, I've got some more stuff that is forthcoming that I can't completely disclose yet until I have some more meetings with them. A lot of education. Our goal is to protect, preserve, and restore the wild native fish populations.
Well, I know one of the things that when I first got to talk with you that you were doing was going out to all these different remote ponds and making sure that signs were put up so people would know you can't go in there and use minnows to catch these trout.
Yep, that is correct. And actually, we just did another big campaign. I wasn't able to be a part of this one, however, our organizations was. It was Trek for Trout. There are videos of it out there on YouTube. The DEC has created some new signage as well at some of these ponds that have QR codes. So when you're done fishing for the day, you take a picture of the QR code, you go to the website, and you fill out a quick survey. It's really citizen science. It's helping the state and the DEC understand what is out there.
One of the things that people probably don't realize is there's a number of species of trout that live in our area. And the three species that we all probably know is the brown trout, the rainbow trout, and the brook trout. But there is good fishing for all of these in this region.
Absolutely, there are. I really look at this and go, we kind of have two different, for me as a guide and as a conservationist, I look at it as we've got really two different fisheries. We've got the rainbow and we've got the brown trout fisheries, and then you get into these backcountry ponds, and that's where you've really got some very special brook trout specific fisheries.
Well, what is it about brook trout that makes them so special?
Well, they're obviously wild and they're native to New York State. The pond population, there's really only two significant pond populations in the country. That's in Maine and that's in the Adirondack Park, which is just 25 minutes down the road from us.
I'll bet a lot of people didn't know that. I've talked about these different species and how brook trout are so, I guess I could say, vulnerable. They're kind of like the canary in the mines. Is an indicator of what the conditions are in our area.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The 50s, 60s, 70s, the acid rain and the environmental pollution was absolutely horrendous and destroyed, just decimated our brook trout population. But through new environmental laws, rules, regulations, policies, and procedures through the DEC, we're starting to see a pretty significant comeback of this very special species to our state.
Well, Aaron, it's great to have you here to explain some of this stuff to people. I really believe that most people in this area don't realize we have such a great fishery right in our back door. Until next time, folks, I'm going to be here again with Aaron Hardy to talk about trout fishing. So join us on the next North Country Fishing Report.